If you're a caregiver or a senior in search of knowledge and services, the Art of Healthy Aging Forum and Expo is just what you're looking for. Believe me. Please welcome Iris James, Community Outreach Representative for Senior Services of Southeastern Virginia, and Vanessa Green, who is a Senior Services Board member. Both of them are involved in an upcoming event that has been going on for 2 years, and now this is the 3rd year for the Art of Healthy Aging. And that can encompass a lot, just the phrase, the art of healthy aging. But it's a positive look at things that people can do to make and enhance their lives, particularly for people who may be a little farther ahead in life or maybe have a parent or a loved one that may need some assistance. What's the theme this year?
Fearless caregiving.
Wow. That sounds pretty fierce.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, caregiving itself is a very challenging role to be in. So
This is true.
the caregiving as a focus, I'm sure, will be welcomed by many people who are always looking for a way to deal with it and balance their lives.
Yes.
You know, in 10 years, 1 in 5 Americans in this area are going to be a senior citizen. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. And even though we put this event on and it's geared towards seniors, we have to realize a lot of us are maturing too. And we're at a point where we're going to become that senior citizen in the very near future. Mm-hmm. And as a matter of fact, it hit me last year. You know, you're ready too. And there's so much information out here the senior services provide that the public just don't realize. And oftentimes, you know, they just don't know it until somebody bring it to their attention. So that's one of the reasons we're going to have this event. It's our 3rd one, and each year we kind of change the theme a little bit. But this year we want to look at caregiving itself as a whole, and what can we provide to the citizens of Southeast Virginia. And we have iRide to help them if they can't get to and from the doctor. And this program is not geared just for poor people. It is for anyone who is in need of help. Okay. And when you're dealing with an elder parent or family member, or you're just a caregiver for an agency and you're helping others, that's a big benefit to that family. And a lot of people don't know how to go about getting that help. And that's what we're trying to do on October the 9th when we have our event.
Okay, great. To get the word out about some of the services that are provided through senior services.
Yes.
That are accessible to anyone.
To anyone at all,
right.
From caregiving to transportation to actually having a companion to come out. We have Meals on Wheels, liquid nutrition. There are so many things that we can help. And what we cannot provide, we can give you the information and point you in the right direction so you can get that. And that's what we're going to have on site on October the 9th. We're going to have a lot of vendors, between 50 and 75 vendors providing their own information that will benefit the seniors or the caregiver. But this year we want to salute that caregiver too. Let them know we appreciate all they're doing for the seniors and the people that's in their care, because it takes a whole lot to take care of one person.
It sure does, and sometimes when you find yourself in that role, you don't learn about just how much until you're dealing with what do I do, or how can I manage this?
That's true.
So so that appeal to anyone, whether you are I don't know how we categorize people anymore. A younger person who may be heading toward middle age, someone who, you know, like you had mentioned, oh my gosh, you know, I'm going to be one of those people probably sooner than I realize, or that, you know, this is relevant to all of us.
It is very relevant. I mean, it's not just caring for that senior. You got to care for yourself.
Yeah.
Because if anything happens to the caregiver, what happens to the senior? Exactly. So we have to learn, and we have to teach other people what they can do for themselves. So we're trying to recruit people to just write letters about caregivers that they know. It could be a family member or someone through an agency, but someone who's taken that extra step to work with a senior, and maybe they had a special moment they would like to share. And we're hoping to have quite a few of those this year. We only had a few last year, but I think this year we're pushing it more, having that salute for the caregiver. One of our main speakers, Mr. Gary Bark, is going to talk about that when he discusses his book on fearless caregiving. He's an advocate
Okay.
for caregiving.
Great.
And I think that's going to be a nice topic, and just to let that caregiver know we appreciate all you do.
Yeah, there we have up on the screen right now the actual salute to caregivers, and if you wanted to submit something in writing, you can, but you can also submit a video.
Yes.
And those submissions are due the September 8th for the video submissions, 3 to 5 minutes, and you see the information on who to send it to up on the board. So maybe we can put that up a little later as we talk too, for people that might be interested. So we'll be able to catch them before, you know, the deadline. But it'll be interesting to see the results. And because caregiving has become a real buzzword in our nation.
In our nation.
And
That's true.
it's really talked about a lot. So there are new things being discovered about it. Some things that maybe people didn't talk about before but are now coming out and are being addressed, and new services that might actually help in getting these people to be more effective caregivers and also be healthier in their
This is
own
true.
lives.
Yes.
Because it's an incredibly stressful role.
And many caregivers, they don't think of themselves as caregivers. They're just doing what we do naturally
Right.
within our family circles. So many of them are not taking the time to find the resources, or maybe they're working and then caregiving in the evenings. They don't have an opportunity to find the resources that they're going to need to help them continue to do what they do, but also to take care of themselves. So the vendors and exhibitors that we will have and our sponsors, they address the various areas that individuals need in order to support the caregiving that they're giving. On the legal, the financial, anywhere from the nutritional support that they may need, the legal ramifications of not having the appropriate paperwork that's going to be necessary as you continue your caregiving, and maybe that person's that you're caring for, their health is beginning to deteriorate. There are certain things that you will need to put in place. So we'll have various people available who can address those, especially on the panel, because Gary Barg is going to present his Fearless Caregiving, talk about his book, and talk about what caregiving looks like. And then we'll have local individuals, local professionals who will sit on a panel and be able to address those things for the questions that persons have regarding how do they do this and what needs to happen as they continue in their role.
Okay. This is, I guess, the education that people, caregivers, if we want to encompass that group as caregivers, might learn, but there are things that they too might be able to apply to their own lives as they grow older.
Yes.
So they have, you get kind of a double dose, and you can come away educated on how to deal with the person you're caring for, as well as how you might be able to plan for your own aging situations.
Yeah.
At least to become cognizant of the legal aspects and the financial aspects at a little earlier age, and not be caught in a situation, because our world's very different from perhaps the person that we're caring for's world was, and it will be again.
That's true.
So following trends is very important, and I'm
Yeah.
sure that's a big part of this. So the event itself is on September,
It's October 9th.
It's
Friday,
October
October 9th.
Yes.
Thinking September 8th deadline, October 9th. And tell us about what time it runs, where it is.
It's a half-day event. It's going to run from 9 to 2.
Okay.
There'll be continental breakfast. There's going to be lunch. And of course, within the exhibitor area, we're going to have little small seminars going on during the break that people will have an opportunity to stop and chat with various individuals regarding maybe nutrition or how to stay active. Also, the advanced care planning program that will be held. So we're going to have little small seminars within the exhibit area.
Okay, so it's something you can get a little dab of this and a dab of that,
Yes.
but it makes you aware that they're there, and you explore it more later.
Sure.
Yeah,
Exactly.
great. So people can call and find out more, they can go online
Yes.
to check out more about the agenda. When you mentioned Gary Barg is going to be, I guess, your main,
The keynote.
yes,
this
keynote
is
speaker
true.
for lunchtime. And are some other folks in the region going to be represented?
Yes, they are. We're going to have entertainment throughout lunch. We're going to have a steel band coming in.
All
Rosette.
right. That's
A
nice.
steel band coming. But the whole event is going to be educational, but at the same time, it's going to be fun. And you know, there's nothing more rewarding than to see those seniors leave out of there with a smile on their face because they have learned something new. With all the vendors that we have, everybody's going to give away something. If it's no more than an ink pen, they're giving away something, but they're giving away their information.
Yeah.
So the seniors and the caregivers alike can contact them at a later date to get further information.
Wonderful.
And I want to remind everyone that the luncheon, there is a cost, it's $15 for the event, but it's including breakfast and lunch and an opportunity to visit all the vendors.
Well, can't beat that. Thank you so much for sharing this and great information. Again, October 9th at the Virginia Beach Convention Center, the Art of Healthy Aging. We hope you'll attend and benefit not only for yourself, but for the person you care for. Thank you for joining me.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for having
And
us.
thank you for joining us. Bye.